Hi, everyone. Welcome to the SVG On Demand. I'm here with Stosh Durbacz, who is Fujifilm North America, Optical Devices Division. He's in the Sales and Product Development Department. How you doing, Stosh?
I'm fantastic, Ken. Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
Sure. Great. Glad to have you. Obviously, technology innovation at Fujinon is always ongoing. And I know we have some slides to run through first, and then we'll come out of those with a little bit of a conversation. So let's take a look at your slides and run through some of the new product developments from Fujinon.
Sounds great. Thanks. What we wanted to share with everyone today was just an update on the next phase in lens design. And when we talk about that, obviously there's the optical component to that, but we're also seeing a lot of now interfacing with the cameras that are out there. And that really helps to expand beyond just the optics in terms of what you're getting. So we'll jump right in. When we talk about the current lineup and moving into the future, of course, that's our 4K line and the HDR. We're up to 15 models in that world now. One of the new things we're going to talk about today is the 107 with the assisted or advanced focus built into it. Additionally, we'll talk about the flagship long lens, the 125. So jumping right into the 125. As you can see here, it's the longest zoom ratio lens with the best-in-class wide angle of 8mm. It's got next-generation optical stabilization and electronics internally. When we compare it to what was our longest lens previously, the 107 by 8.4, it's 5% wider, 11% longer. So really expanding that reach. When we compare it to that 107, you'll see that we're getting just, you know, again, on the wide end, we're getting that extra 100 mil and the extra 0.4 on the wide end. So just getting in nice and tight when we look at that 11% longer on the tele end. And then when we look at the wide end, you know, just getting that extra little bit, you know, getting those, the full end zone in there, or getting that whole establishing shot with the golf hole before you zoom in tight. Real nice for that. As we start talking a little bit more about the interface of the camera with the lens, the first thing we just want to share with everyone is a new function called remote back focus. Traditionally, when you back focus a lens, the current way you do it, the operator or engineer's got to get out to the lens and do the back focus there remotely in the field, wherever the camera and lens system is. They'll tend to communicate with the engineer while they're doing that, and away they go. That works fine if you're in a standard setup in the stadium at a local position, where that can be a challenge. You know, if that lens happens to be mounted in a helicopter, or is on your sky cam, or is up a POV camera up in the ceiling, a little more difficult. So what do we do with remote back focus? Well, we've motorized that back focus adjustment. So now, with a firmware update to your camera controller, you're able to now drive that by the video engineer in the truck or in the control room, who are looking at high-end monitors and getting a real good technical look at the image as it comes through. So here, just as a quick example, you'll see in your RCP, you're able to go to the back focus screen. You're going to run through your regular back focus procedure. You'll see we zoom in tight. It's run a little bit slow here, but we'll zoom in, and then the operator is able to adjust their front focus. So it does need to be an autofocus setup in your lens to get the full functionality. Adjust their front focus here. And then as it comes back, let's see if you can get this done nice and quick. So again, just reinforcing the ability not to have, and certainly in this day and age, not have someone need to go out to the camera position to do this, something that can be done back in a control room environment with a high quality monitor, and really be able to lock that back focus in and make sure it's calibrated properly. So this is the new part here where they then are able to adjust the back focus. So you'll see as he rolls it there, he can get it in nice and tight and good to go. So this function is available on the Sony cameras as well as on the new Grass Valley LDX100, which is a great addition. And it works on these Fujinon lenses listed here. It does need to be a lens that's got that floating flange adjustment feature built in. And if you do want more specifics, certainly reach out to your local Fujinon person. We have some documentation that lists all the cameras and lenses that have this feature. So next up is ARIA. So ARIA is the automatic restoration of illumination attenuation. What is that? Let's call it ramping or illumination compensation. So in this 125 times lens we talked about, as we know, all these long lenses, to get that kind of zoom ratio, the illumination holds flat, and then at some point it ramps. So a lens without ARIA, as you zoom to the tele end, you're going to lose light level. What ARIA does is increase the gain to compensate for that and keep your illumination flat. So just a quick example of what that looks like. This video will show us just a quick example as we traditionally, so this is with it off. As you zoom in, you'll see your image on Mount Fuji here does get dark as you get to that tele end. So you're able to get that long reach, get that tight shot, but you're losing light. When we turn ARIA on, we can easily see that we're keeping that brightness all the way. The beautiful thing today, these modern cameras signal to noise ratios are so low that we're really not introducing that much gain into the image. There's a little bit of noise. However, it is greatly controlled by the camera, and you can adjust the settings. So you can have a maximum amount of gain that you put in. What else does ARIA do? It does also adjust for corner shading or relative illumination. As we know, every lens is best in the center, rolls off to the corners. So what we do here is we just keep those corners bright. That is all known. In this quick little video, just show you, again, with the waveform there as well, that helps. So you'll see as we just toggle it on and off, I'm not sure if the corners are getting brighter through zoom, but you can certainly see that, that curve flatten on the scope. So just as a quick summary, we're compensating for the corner illumination as well as the ramping. And again, Sony and Grass Valley, again, that document's available from Fuji should you like it and know which cameras and lenses that's available on. Next up is the Auto Advanced Focus, AF. This is the first of its kind in a 4K lens. So we've got this new system in the UA107 by 8.4. This is the Advanced Focus system. And we're going to let Danny tell you a little bit about it. So we're just going to run this video.
With the advances in technology, 4K, 8K, focus is going to be very, very important. And I think Fujinon is in the right place to give us this feature. This is not autofocus, this is Fujinon's advanced focus, and it will allow me to manage all aspects of what I want to focus, where I want to focus it, and how fast it's going to focus. I'm Danny Zemenek, and I'm a freelance camera operator for the last 40 years, and I've worked Super Bowls, Olympics, network shows. Focusing TV cameras was never really easy. You got to walk behind the viewfinder as it's moving to get critical focus on a tight shot. So we tend to zoom out. With advanced focus, you'll be able to zoom in and stay with that tight shot. It's tough. Now we're talking about super slow-mo in 4K. You know, being out of focus is not an option. And I want to be able to control every aspect of what part of the screen is focused, when it's focused, do I turn it on, do I turn it off? I'm looking forward to being able to manage the system. The ability to focus on an object, even though something passes in front of it, is a real advance for Fujinon to bring that as a feature. And this is a major step for advanced focus systems. I think that advanced focus is a great idea from Fujinon. Be confident that you're going to be in focus.
So thanks to Danny for the overview on the 107 AF. We do have one of those lenses in North America now. And as we come out of COVID, we're excited to get that out in the field and do some testing with it. And again, should there be an opportunity for you to test that, please reach out to your local Fuji person. Last up, we just want to do a quick look into cinema zooms. Certainly, we're starting to see these Super 35 cameras bleeding into the sports world, into the multicam environments, where we want, where shows want to get that shallower depth of field, that cinema look. This is our traditional line of cinema zooms. These are used in tons of television shows, feature films, commercial production all around the world. Not a very familiar look to a sports world, of course. The Cabrios do have that hang drive on them. What we want to talk about today, though, is introduce our SK20x35 PL mount lens. So this is a 20 times, so 35 to 700 mil. It's got a standard PL mount on the back. So this is the film mount that your Area Mira Live camera, your Sony Venice camera, your Panasonic cameras, these cameras will mate directly to the back of this lens. Your Sony HDX 4800 high-speed camera. No need for adapters and the light loss that comes with all of that, and it's giving you a great range. Additionally, it's got the 1.4 times extender in there, which can act as an expander if you're looking to the larger format cameras, if that does cross your plate. And you're working at a very strong f-stop. So we're starting at f2.8, and at the end at 700 mil, we're only down to 5.2. So really giving you a nice new optical option in these larger film style cameras. Here you can see it set up. This is our good friend Scott Dale at VER in California. They've done some extensive testing with the lens. This is the Sony Venice camera. We did get it out to Lambeau for the NFC Championship last year. Fox Sports did some great testing, provided us with some great feedback on this camera lens combo. You can see them running it there in the testing pre-game. And with that, just a quick overview, just to talk a little bit about Fuji's development goals. Certainly optical quality is so important to us. We're pushing towards 8K now. Really no compromise in terms of the overall MTF, the resolution, the contrast, and that dynamic range of the lenses. The precise focusing as we move into these higher resolving cameras is so important to keep focus. Any focusing errors get magnified, especially when we start going higher speed, higher frame rates, higher resolution. Any misfocus really becomes amplified. So important to keep that under control. Versatility. Having the accessories, having the features that make life easier, having the ranges, taking a cinema lens and putting that drive and then taking it off, so giving that kind of versatility in the 35 live kind of environments as well. The operator usability, things like the remote back focus, having that ramping compensation, modern new controls that work for the operator, and of course service. Not only service from your sales team, but more importantly from the service centers. So the Fuji service centers still here. Get your gear back out in the field working for you, and then also providing education. We've done a whole series pre-COVID of long lens workshops, training some emerging crews. How do you handle these big lenses? How do we safely mount them and put them away? These are expensive assets for those that own them, and making sure the crew can support them is so important. And then that's a great place for us to get feedback as well. Japan's always listening and looking for new ideas in future development, and those are great opportunities to pull that feedback and get it to the team in Japan.
No, that's great. So before we go, I guess, this whole shallow depth of field digital cinema thing, I mean, did this surprise you at all that this kind of became a thing, or are you kind of like about time? We've been waiting for this. What's sort of been the internal discussions as far as this fascinating trend?
Well, it was running down that path. It's been heading that way for a while now. I think one of the biggest challenges with the that shallow depth of field, that cinema style, in a lot of the sports applications is the lens. You know, these lenses, a long lens in a cinema world is a 12 by lens, and we just launched a 125 times zoom lens. So, you know, if you're out in center field and you want to do a headshot on your batter, you're certainly not doing that with a cinema lens, right? The thing would be the size of a, I don't even know, it would be a howitzer, it would be huge. So, and it would be shockingly expensive. So there's a lot of places, certainly within sports production, where that doesn't work. But that said, having that shallow depth of field and the cinematic color space and some of the other things, when we start talking about even a halftime show or sideline or you know, an NFL film style production, now you're certainly able to take advantage of a lot of the features there. Get up a little bit closer, get that shallower depth of field. And so are we surprised? No. But it's interesting to see where it can and can't be used. You know, certainly the unpredictability of sport in a shallow depth of field, you know, the quarterback doesn't always go where he's supposed to go. They're not going to hit their spot. So,
right.
So certainly it can only be used in some places.
Yeah, we need more camera blocking. Clear, that's
yeah.
Those yeah. Well, it looks great. It's fascinating because you'll see it. You know, it's been used in everything now. It's not just, we thought it was going to be just for football, but then NASCAR has done it. We've done it for baseball. It's been basketball. It was really great at the NBA All-Star game. I don't know if you check that out.
Sure.
So it's really fascinating to see how that kind of is changing the dynamics and opening up some new opportunities for you guys, more importantly.
Absolutely. And it's providing a different experience for the viewer at home. I think some of it's a different shot, right? It's that shallow depth of field. And I think, you know, there's a lot of buzz around that even as they deployed them in that handheld environment, right? You know, there's still some things to work out. It's not perfect yet, but it's fun to see some of these new opportunities, you know, for these new creative shots.
Exactly. Well, great. Well, thanks, Stosh. Great to see you as always, and hopefully we'll see you later this year.
Take care. Thanks very much, everybody. Have a great year.